Welcome to Creative Mornings Atlanta. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. I have 1,000 announcements I'm supposed to be telling y'all, but I really have to start with my feelings. First of all, I want to let y'all know that this was my backup Beyonce Renaissance outfit that I brought y'all today. This is not the outfit I actually wore, but it's the backup outfit in case the first one wasn't cute. So 2 cute outfits. Love that for me and you this morning. Also, I want to let y'all know something. When we have this event at venues, I know some of y'all think we got money. Nobody be having money with Creative Mornings. We have like a little bit, but it's not a lot of money, okay? And what I'm telling you is, when you see us at fabulous venues like this, it's because the venues are agreeing to be community partners with us. And when we walked in here to do this walkthrough at Lips Atlanta, I almost cried at these chandeliers. Do you understand? So y'all gonna clap for Lips 1,000 times while we here. All right. First of all, I welcome you. Is this your first time at Creative Mornings Atlanta? Who here is your first time here? Raise a hand. Let me see. Come on, first timers. Yes. Give a hand for them. We love that. You really picked a great one to be your first time. I really don't want the rest of them to be disappointing to you. Because, these disco balls, you might come to the morning event in October and be like, wait a minute. Is this what I signed up for? Okay, first of all, thank y'all so much for being here. This is going to be a great morning and a great way to start your Friday and start your weekend. Don't forget to post about us on social media so other people can know to come here the next time. You can follow us at Atlanta_CM on Instagram and Twitter. I don't care what that man renamed it. Also, use the hashtag Atlanta_CM. That is our local hashtag. You can also use our global hashtag, which is hashtag CMPride. Who drank coffee this morning? Did you get your coffee on? Love to see it. Our coffee partner for the whole year has been Hot Coffee. Give a hand for Hot Coffee right now. Hot Coffee is Atlanta's hometown coffee, and we love to see it. Hot Coffee is a Black woman-owned coffee company, and I love to support that. You can have Hot Coffee at your home if you want to make the coffee yourself. You can also visit Bankhead Coffee, which is their brick and mortar location over there by Westside Motor Lounge. So there's a lot you can do related to Hot Coffee. You want to go to lovehotcoffee.com. You can get all the information there. You can order coffee there. When you're going to have meetings, have people meet you over there at Bankhead Coffee. There's a lot of ways to support our local businesses. Also, you can follow them on social media at Love Hot Coffee. We love our coffee partner, yes. Okay, I already said applause for Lips. Again, applause for Lips Atlanta for hosting us. Oh my gosh. It's so emotional. Here's the thing. You're here this morning. How many people, this is your first time ever being at Lips? Okay. So everybody needs more fun in their life. Listen. Lips has shows almost every day of the week, people. Like 5 days a week, you could come here and experience this. You could celebrate your birthday here. You could have a pre-wedding party here. You could celebrate that it's Friday, that you got paid. You could celebrate anything you want to right here. Lips got you covered. Listen, this weekend, Friday and Saturday night is the Glitz and Glam show. Don't you love it? Some of y'all should just go home and act like you're going to work, even though you're not. And then get your friends, just come back tonight. Also, Saturday and Sunday is Dragalicious brunch. Don't you want that? Don't you want drag performances and eggs? I know some of y'all think eggs are yuck, but in croissants? Drag performance and croissants? Drag performance and mimosas? Speaking of mimosas, if you like adult beverages, you can have you one this morning. You don't have to wait. Jonathan's ready for you. You could get you a mimosa right there. And I want you to pay Jonathan and tip Jonathan. Because we tip our bartenders, don't we? Okay, that's great. You can also visit lipsatl.com if you want to know about all the schedules. If you want to know about which of the girls are performing, you can do that there. You can also follow them on IG at lipsatl. Give a hand for this beautiful place. Yes. Also, some of y'all might be like, oh my God, I just came because my friend invited me. What is this exactly? What am I at right now? Creative Mornings is a global initiative. So we are one of over 200 chapters all around the world. And chapters all around the world are working on the same theme. So our theme this month is Pride, which means people in Budapest, in London, even in Ukraine, with all that's happening in Ukraine. We have Creative Mornings chapters there, in Chicago, in LA, and right here in Atlanta. So each creative community gets to express the theme according to their own community. So we love that. We are very excited to be a part of that. And speaking of our theme, Pride can play a lot of different roles in our creative work, right? We want to make things that we take pride in, right? We also want to be proud of who we are, of where we've come from. And of course, we want to celebrate our LGBTQ plus community who have pride every single day. So that's a part of the lens we chose to celebrate this, which is why we are here at Lips Atlanta, why we're going to experience a drag performance in a minute, and why we're going to hear from Mark Travis Rivera. So we're going to get to explore pride as a theme in all of its layers. But here at Creative Mornings Atlanta, we celebrate pride every single day, as you should. All right. Okay, we also could not do this if people don't help us put this thing together. So we are very excited to partner with MailChimp. MailChimp is really the reason why y'all have free breakfast up in here, you know? I try not to make y'all pay for a biscuit, and MailChimp is helping you. Plus, times are hard, people, you know? Inflation's out here. Clients, you know, you sent the invoice, and they were like, it's net 1,000. You know, I understand the vibes, okay? So we try to get you a little egg, you know, a little loaf that you can come here and be like, I know I can have that for free. And that is because of MailChimp. Thank them so much. So you can visit MailChimp.com. They have a benchmark report right now, which has learnings from agencies and freelancers. Make sure you check that out. Also, I want to shout out to Off the Record. For those of you that don't know, every time we have a morning event, we film these. So if you ever missed one, you can go to creativemornings.com/ATL and see it there. But the reason why it's so clean and crispy is because of our video partner, Off the Record. Give a hand for them. They doing it, okay? Off the Record is a Latina-owned, content creation and storytelling studio in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, we clap for that. Making space for disruptors, innovators, artists, and creators who give a damn. And ain't that you? Ain't that you? Listen to me. You too can have Off the Record work with you to make your video projects crispy, to help your clients look great. You can have that for a fee, and you can go to Off the Record and find out about that. I'm talking about OFFTHA. This is very legitimate. Off the Record, people, okay? Make sure you do that, and big shout out to Off the Record Creative. You can follow them on Instagram at OTR Creative. Make sure you do that now, and thank you, Off the Record, y'allthebomb.com. Okay. Also, some of y'all run into me places and be like, oh my gosh, how do you do Creative Mornings? How do you make time for that? Listen, it's a team of over 20 people making this event happen every month, okay? I would not have these braids if I had to do this by myself. It wouldn't even be like hair up here. It wouldn't be makeup up, nothing. No sparkle on these pants without these volunteers. If you're on my volunteer team, my monthly volunteer team, will you raise a hand just so I can give you a shout out in the building? Shout out to our volunteer team here. And we also have a team of day of volunteers who come just the morning of or the evening of and help us set up all the things. If you're a day of volunteers, will you raise a hand for me? Yeah, thank y'all so much. So listen here, we are opening up some slots for volunteers. This is what I'm looking for. If you are interested in event planning, event production, you like to come up with ideas and implement them. You feel me? Okay, because some people be like, yes, I want to go to a meeting. I want to tell you 1,000 ideas. Hope y'all have fun. Listen, we need some people who want to have ideas, but also implement them. We're looking for people who want to be on our morning team, which is helping produce this event. Or if you're a more evening person, we do have evening events we do. So if that's you, come see me or any of my team members that have name tags on that say CMATL volunteer team. You can ask them. We want to give you this information. We want to help you give your time for free. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, I'm so excited because why would we be here at Lips and not experience drag entertainment? Like, why would we do that? I am very excited. The queen, the diva, one of Atlanta's fabulous drag entertainers. I want y'all to welcome to this stage, Evelyn Caldwell.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet to go over everything. They say the time's supposed to heal ya, but I ain't done much healing. Hello, can you hear me? I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be when we were younger and free. I've forgotten how it felt before the world fell at our feet. There's such a difference between us and a million miles. Hello, how are you? It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I'm sorry. I hope that you're well. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home.
my goodness. Thank you all so much. Hi there. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Evelyn Caldwell. I'm an entertainer here at Lips Atlanta. I've worked here for 10 years. We're about to celebrate our 10-year anniversary, so make some noise for that. I am a nationally known Adele impersonator. I'm sorry, some of you think it's boring, but I think it's not. It's like you were almost in Vegas, but you weren't. I was going to do another Adele set, but I figured I would spare you all the razor blades. So, I'm also a live vocalist. I'm so sorry. Can I get the other microphone? I'm going to see if that works better. I'm so sorry. Where's Amena? Is that what your name? I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Nothing but quality here at Lips Atlanta. Someone actually dropped one of the mics, so that's really what's going on. We'll see if this works better. Okay, that sounds better for now. Okay, so next I'm going to sing you guys a little song, and then I'm going to close out my set. I am a live vocalist, but I've never sang this early, so bear with me. I'm an artist, and I'm sensitive about my work. Oh, not that again. Oh, y'all are a good crowd. Used to spend my nights out in a bar room. Liquor was the only love I know. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back from being too far gone. You're a sweet Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. Now I've looked for love in all the same old places. I found the bottom of the bottle's always dry. But when you poured out your heart, I didn't want to stay. 'Cause there's nothing like your love to get me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. waste on your love all the time. You're a sweet Tennessee whiskey. Oh, Tennessee whiskey all the time. You're a sweet Tennessee whiskey. Oh, Tennessee whiskey all the time. Thank you guys so much.
Yes. Y'all give it up, honey. Evelyn Caldwell this morning. Show some love to her. Oh my goodness. Evelyn said, y'all gonna get this Adele and y'all gonna get these vocals. I love it, Evelyn. Give it to the people. Okay, while we're setting up for our speaker. Okay, thank you. All right, while we're setting up for our speaker, I have 1,000 things to tell you. Okay, first of all, you might be like, I love this. Can I come to this next month? Yes, but different. Okay, so every other month we have a morning event and we're alternating with evening events, if that makes sense. Okay, so this month we're a morning, which means the following month, which is September, that we are an evening event. So we do have an evening event called Creative After Hours because not all of our creatives can be here in the morning, right? And some of y'all just hate the morning generally. So our evening event is different from this one in the sense that the evening event is more experiential. It's more hands-on, right? So for example, our theme last month, which was an evening event, was treasure. So we did an upcycling event where you could share your treasures with other people. So instead of hearing a speaker talk about the theme, you actually get to do the theme at Creative After Hours. So you want to mark your calendars for September 28th. That will be our next one. And our theme is simplicity for next month. So as soon as we find out what that is, we will tell you on social media or in the newsletter. Follow us there. Also, September is our anniversary month. We are celebrating 12 years as a chapter. Can you even believe it? So listen, Bankhead Coffee and Westside Motor Lounge have agreed to host a happy hour birthday party for us. So mark your calendars for September 21st. That is a Thursday night, 6 to 9. You can come there. You can bring a friend. It's going to be some food, some adult beverages, if that's your type of vibe. So we want to see you there. We just want to celebrate with you. And it's a good chance to network or, you know, find a boo if that's what you're trying to do. All right. Speaking of local partners, you notice WABE is here today, and we have a really special announcement. So I can't wait to tell you more about this. I want to invite WABE's Vice President of Audio to the stage. Give it up for Scotty Crow coming up here to join me.
Hello, good morning, good morning.
Hey, Scotty.
This is the greatest morning of all time. Seriously.
We're making things happen here, Scotty. Listen, some of y'all might be like, why is this card here on my table? What is going on? Generally, we love to partner with WABE because WABE is amazing. While Scotty's here, for the people who are like, what is WABE? Tell the people.
Great question, Amena. I appreciate that. WABE, you may know us on the radio, 90.1. We are a local NPR affiliate here in Atlanta. We also have a television channel. But I started at WABE about 6 months ago working with WABE Studios, which is aiming to be the equitable home platform and community for Atlanta creatives. And so we're trying to ultimately diversify what WABE sounds like and what WABE is offering in terms of content, which segues into...
I love a segue.
A collaborative project.
Drum rolls.
Hello. On Monday,
On Monday.
August 28th, launching will be a new podcast called Wake Up and Create,
Yes.
a partnership with Creative Mornings Atlanta.
Oh, yeah. We did really great with our DJ noises there.
We did.
I feel, wow, Wow,
We
I
did.
feel so proud of us. So we have now about to be 12 years old, which means we have a pretty great archive of a lot of amazing Atlanta creatives. And you can still see those things in full on video, but Scotty and I, Celeste and Kevin,
Jess,
Dana, Jess. I
Kevin,
mean, it's a whole team
DJ
of people
Optiggy in the
here.
back, that's right.
Yes, like making this podcast happen. So now what happens is the episodes won't be like you're just listening to a full talk. It'll be like a supercuts version where maybe you're hearing a clip from this person, a clip from that person, and our podcast host will help you think about how you can apply some of the things those speakers may have said. You don't want to miss it, so listen. Is this the time they take their phones out?
I think so, because we're about to enter a no-phone zone, I believe. You're going to want to put those phones away in a minute. But in this moment, you can pull your phone out. There's a QR code on the back of that card.
Boy.
Or you can go to the podcast app that you like and search Wake Up and Create, because that's what we do.
That is what we do. We
And if
wake
you-
up and create.
And if you decide to follow now, you'll catch that new episode in your feed on Monday. And Amena, just because people might want to weigh into that first episode, who is our host for the first episode?
Wow, it's me, guys.
Wow. So if you like this experience, you're going to want to join on Monday. The other thing I was going to say is we've got a lot of new faces in the room, a lot of new folks to Creative Mornings Atlanta. If you like what you see, this is a way to get more. And unless you've gone to every single Creative Mornings Atlanta over the last 12 years, there maybe is a new little nugget and gem in there for you too.
That's it. So subscribe. Did you do it? You subscribe? Did
Appreciate
you?
y'all. Appreciate y'all.
I'm staring at everybody. Make sure you subscribe and share it. We are so excited to get a chance to partner with WABE. Scotty, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Last
Amena.
words? Anything else?
Can I add one more thing?
Yes.
I went to my first Creative Mornings event in a different city in 2016. And I was looking for this mix. I was a freelancer looking for community, motivation, and inspiration. And I got a lot of motivation and inspiration from that space. When I moved back to Atlanta a couple years ago, Creative Mornings was one of the first places that I went to look for those same three things. And I have to say that this experience in Atlanta gives that community essence that I was looking for that I didn't find at the other chapters in the other cities. Love to them, but I think there's something really, really special here. And so I'm really thankful to be working with Amena, Celeste, and this whole community in so many ways. Just from coming to events over the last couple years, there's other folks that we're looking to collaborate with. And so I just thank y'all for being here. Thank you for partnering with us, and appreciate y'all. Enjoy.
Thank you, Scotty. Shout out to WABE in the building. You can hear Creative Mornings Atlanta on Wake Up and Create every Monday, starting this Monday coming up. So that's really great news. All right, are we ready for our speaker? Is it time? I think this is my Tyra Banks, where I do this.
Oh, Lord.
I want you to show your love for CEO and founder of the Professional Storyteller, writer, dancer, choreographer, and keynote speaker, Travis Rivera.
Hi. Hello. Amena, before we get started, first of all, you're doing an amazing job. And so shout out to you and your leadership. And shout out to the entire Creative Mornings team and volunteers. You guys are really dipping it and doing it. And I want to shout out to our performer, Evelyn, right?
Yes.
I saw Adele. Adele was my first major concert, and Adele was also her version of "Make You Feel My Love" was the first music I ever choreographed to. So I even have an Adele tattoo. I mean, my love for Adele goes way beyond before she blew up, pre-21, when you're going to hear her on MySpace. So Evelyn was spot on with the impersonation and everything about that. So shout out to the drag performer who did her thing.
Big shout out to Evelyn.
Yes.
Yes, Evelyn. You did that, honey.
Yes.
You did that. Okay, I have 1,000 things to ask Mark. So what we're doing is Mark and I are going to be here in conversation, and then we're going to open up the floor. So please be thinking about questions that you might like to ask Mark. One of the major pluses to having such an amazing volunteer team is that sometimes we'll put it out to the team, hey, this is our theme, who do you think would be a good speaker? And one of our team members, Dana, who is a great friend of Mark, suggested Mark to us, so I'm so glad you agreed.
Yes, of course. Happy to be here.
Okay, let's get into it. I always like to start with an origin story question, Mark,
Yes.
because everybody has different reasons why they ended up in Atlanta. You know, obviously, some people were born and raised here. Shout out to our Grady babies that are like, my parents brought me here. You know, I was born out here. Love that, okay? And then some of us had other reasons for school, for work, for a boo. Everybody has a reason they came to Atlanta. So what is your Atlanta origin story, Mark?
Yeah, so part of it actually is how I got connected to Dana. My dear friend Lauren, who's in the audience, she lived here, and I have another associate who's no longer a friend, Not gonna name him though.
It'd be like
And
that.
I had just turned 30. I was living in the Bay Area, so I grew up in Jersey. Any Jersey folks in the room? Besides my friends, y'all, so you can't take Jersey nowhere. And so, what happened was I had just turned 30. I was living in a really expensive part of the country, the Bay Area. And before that, I was in New York City, and Jersey's not any cheaper. And I was like, I don't want to have roommates the rest of my life. I'm getting older now. I want to have my own space. And so I also need to be closer to my major markets, which are New York, Boston, and New Jersey. As a speaker, choreographer, writer, those are my major markets. And California was just too far out. And so I decided to come here because Lauren had convinced me, and that former friend had convinced me, and then all hell hit the fan or whatever, or the chandeliers. And I realized 7 months into living here that this was going to be my forever home. Wow. I had spent the last 5 years of my life moving from major city to major city, not just in pursuit of my career or love or purpose, but for home. I didn't grow up in an environment where I felt a sense of home and belonging, and so Atlanta has become that. So Atlanta will be the home base. New York, California will be satellite spaces for me that I can travel back and forth to.
I love that.
Yeah.
When we're talking about pride, part of what comes to my mind too is, and I feel this energy from you also, so you'll have to tell me if this is true of you, but I feel like we have different sort of people that we carry into the spaces that we're invited in. For you as a speaker, as a dancer, you have some people that you sort of carry in your heart with you, right?
Yeah.
And you and I talked as we were getting ready for this about chosen family.
Yes.
That sometimes the family or the people you come from may not be always your family of origin. It may be people that you got to choose to become your family along the way. So who are some of those people that you would say are the people you come from, are the people you carry with you as you go on into different spaces?
Yeah, in terms of my bio family, I think a lot about my abuela, who lives in Puerto Rico. And shout out to Puerto Ricans in the room. And she said to me before I moved to New York, because I was struggling, this idea around machismo culture as a Latino, being the youngest, being the first one to graduate high school and go to college and be a creative entrepreneur. My mom was pulling all the non-practicing Catholic guilt she could. And she said, how can you leave me? How can you abandon me? How can you move? Girl, I'm moving across the Hudson River. What's going on? And so my grandmother said to me once, and this truly liberated me, your only obligation is to yourself and your freedom. Because no one around you can be free if you yourself are not free. Right. And when we talk about chosen family, for those who are not queer or part of the LGBT community, the concept of that came because of the pervasive family rejection that queer and trans people faced, which led them to being homeless, unemployed, unsupported, and so chosen family became a lifeline for so many queer and trans folks, especially queer and trans folks of color. And so some of my chosen family are in this room today. Dana, who connected me to you all, right? Lauren, who connected me to Dana. Angelina was the first friend I made here, who I didn't know before moving here. And then Jason is one of my newer friends, who's also my youngest friend. I don't have a lot of young friends, and so Jason snuck in. His birthday's next weekend, so happy early birthday. So Jason kind of snuck in. So a lot of my chosen family are here, right? And I realized that I am someone who is privileged in the sense that I don't just have 2 or 3 quality friends. You're lucky if you have 1 or 2 or 3. I have an entire wall full of people I admire who are part of my chosen community and chosen friends and family. And those people anchor me even when I'm difficult to be around, because Lord knows I'm difficult sometimes. Don't breathe too loudly over there. So, yeah. So Atlanta has become home. Thank you for welcoming me to your city.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. When we think about pride in the sense of having pride in who we are, or coming to a place where we are choosing to be exactly who we are, that we're not going to make ourselves small, that we're not going to try to be whoever the they expected us to be.
Yeah.
A part of that is learning to be authentically you.
Yeah.
What would you say are some things that have played a role in you learning how? Because I think when we think about authenticity, sometimes we're assuming like, oh, some people must be just authentic. Some people must have that come naturally to them, and it's actually something that you have to learn and practice.
Daily.
So what's that journey been like for you?
I am known for saying this. Dana's actually making me my graphic designs for my merchandise launching this fall when my new website relaunches. And I have a saying that says, authenticity is a daily choice. every day I choose to show up and be my whole self, imperfectly so, right? Whether I'm wearing a dress, heels, makeup, no makeup, whether I'm depressed or not, I show up fully as my whole self. And you and I hit it off because I also am a full-time creative entrepreneur, and so clients still have some outstanding invoices. And so then the first thing we spoke about was, my clients ain't paying me. You were talking about meeting with your financial people, and I was talking to trying to figure out my team here in Atlanta. And so we connect over that. And I want to say this idea around authenticity. It's not that one is just better at it than others. It's 12 years of therapy for me. Right. It's my spiritual practice. It's the family and friends who anchor me and ground me. And it's my commitment to die living in my full truth, because I'd rather go out in my full glory and own my whole story than go out as a version that's not really me.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is not lost on me the power of us being here in this space, of me being here with you. We are in a very interesting moment of history here in America and in the world. We are watching a lot of things happen that are terrible, that we're having to fight, especially for our LGBTQ plus community, fight for liberation, for freedom. We are watching laws be used against our LGBTQ plus community. And I told you this, and I also want to speak to the joy of what it means to be who you are too, because sometimes people will come up to me and say, isn't it hard being a Black woman? And I'm like, what you mean? Being a Black woman is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It's an amazing life. It's white supremacy that's terrible.
Right.
It's not me.
Right.
Like, this is great.
Yes.
And I feel this when I think about our LGBTQ plus siblings. It's like to be queer is beautiful.
Yes.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's transphobia we don't want.
Right. Queerphobia.
It's homophobia.
Yeah.
It's queerphobia we don't want.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your thoughts about what it feels like to you, what it means to you to be who you are, to be doing the work you're doing in this time of history.
I'm going to mention what we talked about last night because I think it's really important. So here I am, shaving, trying to get myself ready for y'all to look all cute. And my spirit, I'm obsessed with Deadline White House at MSNBC. This is not an ad. They're not paying for this event or me. But Nicole Wall, my favorite daytime talk show is The View. I'm not the target demo, but I've been watching them since I was like 8, okay? They've been around for 25 years. And so Nicole was on a season when they tried to go pop culture and fun. And so they fired her because she was more serious, political, and intellectual. But she ended up at MSNBC hosting this Deadline White House series. And I've been obsessively watching over the last few weeks because I like to know what's going on in the world, especially here. And I think it piqued my anxiety as a queer person of color, as a disabled person, as a person who is more vulnerable to attacks because I'm gender nonconforming as a queer man. And so I had texted you because I was in the shower getting ready, and my spirit kept telling me, what's the security protocol for tomorrow? What's the emergency preparedness in case something happens? And I've been doing this work professionally for over 10 years. And last night was the first time I ever had to reach out to an event organizer and say, are you having security? What are your security measures? What is an emergency plan that you have in place in case something pops off? Because we're gonna be in a queer venue. Pulse, schools around our country, supermarkets, churches, synagogues, movie theaters, concerts, they've all become target for violence. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that what's happening now isn't new to our country. Like fashion, oppression and white supremacy reinvents itself every few years. So first it was gay people can't get married, and then we won that. Oh, well, you know what? Trans people can't decide that they're gonna be trans. We're gonna roll back on their rights. There's over 300 anti-trans specific legislation and LGBT, anti-LGBT around the country that are rolling back our basic civil and human rights. And for me to have to think about that because Trump was here yesterday turning himself in for his mugshot, thinking that wow, what if a lone wolf sees this? Because you know what? I posted a reel on Instagram that went viral. And I didn't think it was gonna go viral. You never know, right? And so that had over 10,000 plays in less than 24 hours. Wow. And it was a commentary about Trump and the other people being indicted in Georgia. And then I thought to myself, Mark, you idiot. You posted this video that went viral a day before you're doing a public event in Atlanta that anyone can just show up to, right? And so I had to contact you and say, hey, what is the plan, right? Yeah. Because, and I never had to do that. And so for those who are not LGBTQ, for those who don't have to worry about, can I enter this space safely? Think about that. Think about the fact that there are people in this country, in your life, people you claim to love, who have to consider each and every day and have to be in a constant state of being hyper-vigilant, because not being vigilant could lead to harm. What does that do to a body? What does that do to a mind? And what does that do to our creativity?
Yeah, it's powerful. Thank you. Yeah. And I appreciated you reaching out, because one of, Creative Mornings, some of y'all may know this, but Creative Mornings globally has a manifesto, and the first line of it is everyone's welcome. And we want to always exhibit that. But sometimes even when we say welcome, it can be like tolerate, sometimes when we say that in spaces, and that's not what we mean. We mean we want everyone, whoever you are, whatever. As you are, to be welcome and safe.
Yeah.
And we realize there are a lot of spaces where you're not going to be 100% safe.
Right. There is no safe space, y'all. That is a fallacy.
That's not really a thing.
Right.
But
you can create a brave space.
Right, as much as you can provide.
Yeah.
So that's a very important value for us, and I just really appreciated us having that conversation.
And I appreciated you being so responsive. And it wasn't early in the day, y'all. I was in the shower getting all cute for y'all, and my spirit kept telling me, because of all the news anxiety, what if something happens tomorrow? And so she didn't have a lot of time between 7 a.m. call time for the staff, and so I appreciate you working so hard to make sure that we had things in place.
Absolutely, yeah. That's important. Thank you. I want to ask you about, child, I'll be talking to Mark, and I just want to talk 1,000 years. Okay. I'm going to close with this question so that we can open up.
And I'm going to be here
floor.
after the event, so anyone wants to talk to me, ask questions, you can do that while you're buying a book.
Absolutely.
Up front.
Mm-hmm. Love to see that.
Yes.
I want to ask you what's bringing you joy. I think this is, it's a very interesting time for us.
Yeah.
Here in America and globally. There's a lot of things going on to be really actually worried about, to be really actually concerned about, and not in any way to ignore those things or minimize those things. But I think there sort of is this both and of like, there are things going on that we're gonna have to fight to see them made right.
Yeah.
And it also requires us to cultivate joy.
Yes.
To make sure we are still enjoying some things in our life. What is joy looking like for you right now?
Joy is practicing daily gratitude. Every morning I wake up and the first thing I do is, after I get my coffee or tea, I open my gratitude journal and I write 3 things that I'm grateful for in that morning, or from the day before, as soon as And Oprah got me into, Oprah is also my Jesus. No offense to those who are believers. I grew up in the church too. But Oprah is also on my wall, by the way. I met her in 2018, but that's a different story. So I realized that yes, things are terrible sometimes. Yes, things are hard. But in the year of me, every year I pick a word. 2023 was the word was me. It also happens to be the first time that I went full-time as a creative entrepreneur. No day job, draining me and making me even more depressed and sad. Getting to fully live in the calling of my life. And I don't take that for granted. And whether you do this full-time or part-time or on the side, or you minimize your work because you feel like you're not enough, I want you to know that you are enough and your creativity is enough. And so for me, joy is in the living. Joy is in the daily decision to show up as my full self. And joy for me is being able to live the life I always dreamt of living. As I was writing in those books yesterday night, cramping with my hand, I said, oh gosh, this is my life. Stacks of books that I wrote in 2017, published, sitting in front of me, writing individual messages for each book, putting my signature in it. And I said, this is the life I always dreamt of living. This is the life that made me move to Atlanta. Yeah. And that is a privilege, that is a joy, and I never want to forget who I am, where I come from, and what I aspire to do. Yeah. And that it's easy to get lost in the headlines. But we as artists need time to do nothing. We need time to be in the mundane. We need time to isolate. We need time to observe, to live. There's a reason why Adele creates an album and then disappears for years, because she's living so she can create. And so I am living my best life in the year of me in 2023. Yeah. And that is Joyful Noise.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, we're going to open up the floor, and for the sake of recording, I'm going to repeat your question. I'm going to try very hard.
And for the sake of accessibility, too.
To translate your question. So do I have any questions out there? If not, I had some left over. So anybody got a question that's burning in your heart at this time?
Don't be scared or shy. Mm-hmm. They all sign waivers, right, to be here?
Right, okay. Okay, I'm going to ask one of my other questions,
okay,
Mark,
yes.
while the people are... Oh, okay, I missed one. My bad.
We have a brave soul.
Excuse me.
We can't see one in the back, by the way. The lights are blinding.
So project, and then I'm going to repeat it for the people.
Coming from Puerto Rico, how do you see the evolution of machismo, especially with big stars like Bad Bunny who's starting to bend the gender narrative?
Yeah.
Okay,
so
let me repeat the question so we have it for the recording. Coming from Puerto Rico, how would you speak to the evolution of machismo? And our question asker used as an example, like watching Bad Bunny, do some gender
bending.
Yes.
Yeah, and I have strong opinions about that. But why I'm Puerto Rican descent. I was born on the mainland. As you all know, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. But I actually was born in Miami, grew up in Jersey, lived in New York City, lived in the Bay Area, and now Atlanta's home. But I have my grandmother's in Puerto Rico. I have a lot of relatives in Puerto Rico. I actually haven't been able to go back as an adult because of the femicide and gender and homophobia violence that people experience on the island, which is a lot more rampant outside of San Juan, and so where my family happens to live. Some of them call that the campo. And so for me, I study women's and gender studies in college. That's my degree. And I have seen the evolution of not just machismo softening, because more Latinx men are talking about their feelings, getting the help they need. Women are no longer enabling that kind of behavior as much, right? And so what's interesting is that men throughout history have always bent gender norms. And there are certain things that were okay that aren't okay now, quote unquote, right? And so I think that this constant hyper-fixation of what a man is exhausting. Or what a woman is exhausting. And it's hard enough being human, and then you put all these like societal norms on someone and you just crush them with the weight of something they will never be. I will never be hyper-masculine. That's just not me. Am I a boss? Yes. Am I dominant and aggressive and leader? All the stereotypical male things, yes. And I'm also cute and femmy and girly, and that's okay, right? And so Bad Bunny for me, to be fair, Bad Bunny for me, I have a big problem when non-queer men take on certain behaviors or characteristics associated with the queer community, because for me, it feels like queer baiting. And it's become trendy when they do it, right? So he may not get attacked for wearing a skirt, but when I go outside, if I go to the island, I may get attacked, right? Because I'm not just performing gender, I am being who I truly am, fully. And no shade to him, but if he's not consistently that on and off stage, why are you doing it? To me, it's a form of appropriation. Yeah.
Great answer. Anybody else? Questions? And wave your hand in case we can't see you real good. Okay, I got one right here. What you got?
So, we talked about this idea of having superpowers, right? Like particularly people in the disability community. There's hidden superpowers also, and there's hidden disabilities and visible disabilities.
Yeah.
But when you start to think about the idea of superpowers, I started thinking that most superheroes have a alter ego or have somebody that they hide as. When we talk about presenting as our true selves, does that mean always being a superhero, or can you take solace in sometimes being Bruce Wayne because you don't have to be that?
Okay, let me try.
I can recap it if you don't mind, if you want me to. I can recap it if you want. 'Cause I
Okay,
heard the question.
give me a recap, because I was
Okay.
about to do that
No,
work.
I followed.
When we talk about superpowers as a theory,
Right.
in the theory
That
of
was very
superpowers,
theoretical.
the way we have hidden.
Yeah, and then he said a DC reference, but I'm gonna not judge you for doing Batman and not Marvel. But yeah, I got you. So the question was, we talk about, in terms of the disability community, some call it super crips or being visible and invisible disabilities, and how you kind of talk about what is your superpower, what is your alter ego. You know, Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, etc. Here's the thing about authenticity that's often a misconception. It is not putting on a mask and being a version of yourself. It is saying every day, I will not wear a mask. You're going to get this version of me. There are things that Angelina, Lauren, Jason, and Dana know that y'all don't know. Because A, it's none of your damn business. And 2, you don't get all of me just because you come to a public event and I'm the speaker. Right? You don't get to hear my whole story. But you can read a part of it when you get my book. Right? And so, to me, and I am a physically disabled person. I was born at 5.5 months. My mom gave birth to me. I weighed 1 pound. In 1991, which means statistically speaking, I shouldn't probably be alive, right? The odds were stacked against me. So I had developed a condition called cerebral palsy. And I'm not gonna explain what that is because it's a spectrum of things, but you can Google it. And it affects me from the hips down. So me having a dance company for 10 years for disabled and non-disabled dancers, me being an independent choreographer working with major companies across the country and around the world even, I recognize that I am a super crip to some people because they don't see it. And that's not even talking about my depression, anxiety, and invisible stuff, right? And so what I realized is that it's not about always having to be on, right? My friends know I'm a lot quieter sometimes when I'm not being paid to speak or being asked to speak. They also know I can be annoying, more annoying than they would like. And they also know I'm super meticulous about my calendar. They get calendar invites for every personal outing. Because I have to live by my calendar because I do so much. And I like to be intentional, right? And so the mask or the unmasking, it's not about that. It's every day I choose to embrace whoever I am in that moment, whether I'm depressed, whether I'm super happy, whether I'm struggling to pay bills because clients won't pay me on time, or if I'm rolling in the deep and I got to pay my rent early this month, right? So it's like the joys, the small wins. And so for me, it is not about an alter ego. It is about saying I am a whole human being, imperfectly so. And I am still worthy of love and belonging. I am still worthy of honoring my life and living out my dreams. And it doesn't matter where I've come from, what disability I have, what my gender or sexuality identities are. What matters is that I'm human. And our shared humanity is what connects us. And the mission of my brand, of my work, is to embrace the power of story to foster a more inclusive world, because it's my story, it's your story, and then it's our story. And stories connect us. I have spoken all over the world virtually, and I'm surprised of the people who come up to me after an event or email me, and they look nothing like me, and yet they saw a part of themselves in my story. And that's why there is no alter ego. It is all of me, all the time. You just don't get to see all the layers that make me who I am, yet. Because not everyone has earned the right to hear your whole story. Right. But they have earned the right to read what you published. Shameless plug, shameless plug.
Not bad. Last question. Anybody?
Did that answer your question in a very long-winded way? Okay. Yes. Integration, yes. Wholeness. Wholehearted living. I'm a huge fan of Brene Brown. She's also on my wall. Different story. But there's an essay in the book about her actually called Coping with Shame. But this idea that I choose to be a wholehearted human being. I am not fragmenting myself. There is no separating my Latinidad from my queerness, my crippledness, or my gender nonconformity. I am all of those things in totality. That when I walk into a space, you may see certain things physically first, but you're going to learn and see all of me. Because I'm not a fragmented sentence. No one likes a fragmented sentence, right, writers? Right? I am a whole human, a whole story.
I mean, I feel like that's a good note to
There we
end
go.
on right there.
Woo-woo!
We have a gift for you.
Oh,
So listen to me. Every person that
The
you
gift
see
is sitting
speaking
next
on
to
this
you.
stage.
Let me just tell you.
let
Can
me
we give her
tell you
another round of
something,
applause?
Mark, please.
So Amina doesn't know this, but I told Dana, I was like, oh my God, I love her. I was like, she's gonna be my friend, and she didn't know that. We're friends now.
Oh, yeah, we
Okay,
friends.
okay,
We
great.
friends. Plus, I done already got into some of your people over here.
Oh yeah,
anyways.
you know.
We done already
once
met
you
and
infiltrate the
stuff.
circle, you're in.
Yes. So I want y'all to know
thank
thank you so
you.
much, Dana. Okay, listen to me.
Do you want me to open in front of everyone?
No,
Oh,
I don't want.
I wasn't
don't
sure. I
Want,
wasn't-
I don't want people to really want to be involved in what's in your bag.
Oh.
You know, so it's just for you.
They haven't earned that part of the story
Yeah,
yet.
that's right.
Ooh.
Okay. I want y'all to know that every speaker who's up here agrees to be up here pro bono globally. That's a rule with HQ that all speakers agree to donate their time to you. So we could not pay you the big bucks that you deserve, but we had got you some Atlanta things.
Thank you.
And I thank you so much for sharing your time and
Thank
your
you.
story with us, Mark. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Wow. Give it up for Mark Travis Rivera. Oh my God, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, is David in this room right now? Yeah. David, will you come up on here? Because I got a gift for you too. Listen here. David is the general manager of Lips, okay? I bothered David to no end, begging him, would he please let us come in here? The people at Lips be working at night. You understand? They don't be here at this time of the morning. But David and his team agreed to let us come into this beautiful space. And we do not have the big bucks to pay you either. But we want to offer you a gift from us as well. Thank you. I tried to see if David would talk to y'all. David said, no, thank you. He said, no, thank you. You find someone else. I want to thank y'all so much. Please keep our dates in mind. The podcast drops on Monday. Please subscribe and share that. Our anniversary party is September 21st. Our next evening event is September 28th. We'll be back in the morning last Friday of October. We love y'all. Have a great week. Ooh.